start off, World War II was a defining moment in history, a global conflict that reshaped nations and tested the limits of courage and sacrifice. But for African Americans, it was also a battle for equality and dignity and the right to serve their country with honor.
And over 1 million African Americans served in the U.S. military during the war, breaking despite the facing segregation of discrimination, injustice, and being very resilient in this time of war.
To continue on with African American Army nurses called during World War II, some responded to a set of women caring for soldiers in Europe. The following picture presents several such nurses who wait for disembarking after the ship landed in Greenock, Scotland, 1944. These courageous women faced racial discriminations and yet played an important role in supporting the war effort under difficult conditions. Their service helped contribute to an Allied victory, but also helped further provide a path to future advances in civil rights and equality within the military. Skilled positions like the one held by the draftsmen in the photo were particularly hard for black individuals to attain due to interest racial discrimination. Many employers, particularly in the defense industry, were reluctant to hire African Americans for such roles, which were often reserved for white workers. This is especially true for positions in engineering, drafting, and other technical fields, where African Americans face barriers based on race rather than ability.
In summary, the Buffalo Division in this photo were elite members of the African American soldiers in 1945, along with them being key components of the U.S. military during World War II. Despite the obstacles of segregation, racial prejudice, the soldiers of the 92nd Infantry Division demonstrated exceptional courage and contributed significantly to the success of the Allies in the European theater. This service played a crucial role in the long struggle for civil rights in America. Leaders like A. Philip Randolph in this picture here played a crucial role in advocating for better conditions for African American, particularly in the workforce. As the founder of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters, he was a key figure in the fight for labor rights and racial equality. During World War II, he pressured President Franklin D. Roosevelt to address discrimination in defense industries, leading to the issuance Executive Order of 8802 in 1941. This order prohibited racial discrimination in the defense industry and established Fair Employment Practices Committee, FEPC, to enforce non-discriminatory hiring practices.
Background info and WWII campaign emerged highlighting the fight for freedom both abroad and at home, particularly in response to racial discrimination such as the Port Chicago disaster and chaos. The war led to military desegregation by 1948, but black veterans still face discriminations, including issues with the GL Bill and blue discharges, which hindered their civilian life. Despite their service, black veterans struggle to access the benefits they earn.
Despite the segregation and discrimination they faced, African American soldiers and airmen proved their bravery and skill and dedication during World War II, helping the groundwork for civil rights movements that would follow in the 1950s and 1960s. Their service challenged deeply held prejudices and demonstrated the need for greater equality and integration in both military and American society as a whole. Their courage and determination to serve, despite the obstacles they faced, helped pave way for better and way greater inclusion and recognition of American men in the military. This image is not only a testament to their sacrifice, but a reminder of how their contributions were vital to the success of the Allied forces in World War II.
The image of First Sergeant Rance Richardson resting during a moment of respite in the middle of South Pacific campaign symbolizes the perseverance and fortitude of African American soldiers during a time of both global conflict and domestic racial inequality. Richardson's service in both World Wars reflects not only his personal commitment but also the broader contribution of African Americans in the military during pivotal moments in U.S. history.
This photo explains the appeals and as an ethical response from African Americans and having resilience due to the racial injustice and the segregation throughout the Army sets. In this picture, particularly, Marian Anderson's artistic moves and personal achievements served as powerful symbols, resilience, grace, and the pursuit of equality. He has broke racial barriers in the arts and used his fame to advocate for social change, leaving a lasting legacy both in the world of music and struggle for civil rights.
After the death of many black soldiers, they were charged with mutiny, convicted, and sentenced to hard labor and dishonorable charges, despite their protests that they were not trying to overthrow anything but were simply protesting unsafe working conditions due to its unfairness, and blamed the explosion on the African Americans.
This photo emphasizes the capabilities of black soldiers being able to be brave and push limits and being able to show their full potential and being able to do what the white soldiers were able to do. Primarily a fighter for escorts and for bombers and achieve remarkable records of their success. Their service helped challenge racial stereotypes and played a significant role in the eventual integration of the U.S. military. And along with them being very successful in what their achievements have been, and they're always pushing forward to be great. And this is definitely a time we should remember that African Americans in World War II were truly a remarkable force of power, resilience, and strength.